Hey everyone, this is Yasmin, LMFT. Don't forget to like and subscribe below, and you know what? Save it. You'll need it for later.
Is a logical consequence just punishment in disguise?
A natural consequence is not a punishment. It's a lesson, and it doesn't even have to be asserted by a parent. It's actually when a child has consequences that fall into place when they are doing things alone. So even without, it's like when someone doesn't intervene and they learn the lesson themselves. So they wake up late and the parent does not intervene and the kid goes to school late, they have natural consequence with the teacher, with the school, the embarrassment of walking into the class late. So that's what a natural consequence is, so that the kid is going to try and prevent that from happening again. When they prevent that from happening again, then their goal is to wake up earlier, and this is all without parents intervening. So that's a natural consequence without intervention from someone else.
And what's the first red flag a consequence turned into a punishment?
The first red flag that a consequence turns into a punishment is when there are elevated moods, snappy moods, dysregulated emotion. Even if it's a good consequence, a natural consequence, and someone is escalated somehow, especially the parent, then it becomes a punishment because it's linked to shaming. Now the child feels ashamed because their connection with their parent is lost. They feel like it's their fault. The child feels like it's their fault. So they stop, trying to solve the problem. They start to isolate, and then it becomes a punishment.
Why does repair teach better than penalty? And what's the key research nugget?
Repairing teaches better than punishment because it's motivating. If you're attempting to repair, that is reaching out for connection and teaching and negotiating. Negotiate with your child instead of punishing them. Punishment is fine. Like if repairing isn't working, or like punishment's like a timeout or a punishment that's not shaming. So if you could do that last and then attempt to repair first, it's more effective. Kids are more receptive to that.
And for young parents, what is a prime example of a great repair technique?
So when we're talking about reparative teaching, there always has to be reparation made. There has to be reparation made. But this could be reparation that increases the child's confidence. It could be used as a tool. So suppose a kid were to play baseball with their friend and then the ball hits the neighbor's window, the glass shatters, the kid freaks out and runs home. The reparative work would look like kid going to parent, letting them know what happens because they feel safe enough with the parent to let them know what happened. The parent would talk to their kid about what's about to happen. I'm disappointed, asking questions. Was it an accident? What happened? Keeping calm while doing so, keeping regulated. Then going to the neighbor's house. Hey, so my son has something to tell you. Okay, yeah, we were playing baseball. It was an accident. I'm really sorry. That's the first step of reparative strategies. And so even though the kid said, oh, I am sorry, that's not enough. You have to further repair it by paying for the window. So that's what reparation looks like. But this whole time, the parent could be relaxed, the parent could be connected, the parent could be regulated, and now he's teaching his child, how to show up in the world, how to make repair for accidents and consequences, and it's okay. It's not a scary thing. Dad was there. He walked me through it. This is how you teach your kid to show up in the world.
In the same scenario, what negative consequences can happen when a parent does not manage it this way?
When a parent doesn't manage the situation well, and what could go wrong includes things like scaring their kid, making their kid cry, making their kid feel ashamed for what they did, even though it was an accident. And that's where things go awry. The kid's heartbeat goes up. The child's brain starts to fixate. Okay, am I safe? Am I gonna be in trouble? What's gonna happen? And how do I manage it? What am I doing? Some kids go blank. They get terrified. They don't have a voice anymore to barely say I'm sorry. If they're saying, oh, like their voice goes really low and their head is down and they look defeated, and that's not good. Like, have them say, I'm really sorry, confidently, like I'm saying it now. I'm really sorry I broke your window. I'm going to pay for it. Me and my dad are talking about a plan, whatever. So you don't want your kid to cower. You want your kid to stand up, to gain confidence even through a broken window, even through mistakes.
In that same type of situation right now, in a classroom of 30, how does repair techniques look in a classroom versus at home?
So the toughest part about being in a classroom as an adult, also known as a teacher or teacher's aide. So when it comes to kids, and you have 30 kids in a classroom, and the instructor, teacher's trying to teach and control the crowd, it's different. It's discipline is almost out the window because the kids have too much opportunity to stop listening, or they could be hyper, they could be having somatic reactions. So I wouldn't even say you can really discipline. That's why it's so important for parents to discipline and prepare their kids for school, because teachers shouldn't be disciplining, they should be teaching. And if they are hyper or restless or those types of things, you give them techniques in the classroom, like games that they could play, that whoever sits still the longest gets this. So positive reinforcement, whoever stays quiet the most gets this. So those are like motivating, but it's really, really hard to discipline when it's not your kid and you have 30 kids in a classroom. If you were an experienced dad and you had 2 kids, or you got them on Friday nights or something like that, and they go wild. One's 8, just at the age of reason, where they're learning the difference between right and wrong, and the other is 5, so they're not even at the age of reason, and they get into a fight about a toy. The best thing that you can do here is empower the boy. So what motivates him? Like asking questions like, what's going on? Tell me what's happening. Do you need to do breathing exercises? Let's do grounding exercises, like holding your palms really tight, then letting go. And holding your palms really tight and then letting go. Grounding techniques, feeling your feet under you, rubbing your hands together, redirecting what's going on. So now we're trying to calm the kid, the 8-year-old. He's at the age of reason. The 5-year-old is like not yet at the age of reason. So we're going to start with him. And so when you do grounding techniques, the goal is to re-regulate him. And it's okay to go nuts or haywire and like get upset about a doll or a toy. It's okay. The goal is to regulate them, and you can't do that unless you're regulated. Dad has to be regulated. So if dad is frustrated, and even if he's trying to regulate his kid and he's frustrated, then there's going to be a problem. Like everyone's going to get dysregulated. You cannot regulate a child if you're dysregulated. So grounding techniques for the older kid, and then starting to talk to him, asking questions once he's regulated. Tell me what's going on. Getting on your knees to his height, like holding his hands, his wrists, giving him some soothing techniques. That is the most important thing. Teaching him how to self-regulate. Create a non-threatening environment. Because the goal is not to make you feel better. The goal is to make the kid feel better. The kid it's going to be really important for him to learn how to get upset, but then regulate. Then get upset, but regulate. It's not about not getting upset. It's about regulating when you already are upset. because you're preparing these kids for the real world. So if you're preparing them for the real world, they're going to get upset as adults. But are they going to become borderline or narcissistic and manipulative? Or are they going to learn to regulate? And so you're just really teaching your kids how to regulate their emotions and deal with problems when they get older. So how do you want them to do that? So you start to soothe, you start to have grounding techniques, and then they start to calm down, and then you have a conversation without shaming, without getting dysregulated, and then you talk about how you know your kid, how are they motivated? Is he gonna be someone who likes to take care of his sister? So if he likes to take care of his sister, then you can use leadership qualities with him. Teach him leadership qualities through his younger sister. Teach him how to protect his younger sister. What does it look like to protect her? And if he makes his little sister happy, he's going to gain confidence. Just another opportunity to offer confidence to your kid.
We have a child that, 1, did not finish homework, 2, unfortunately has began talking back, and then 3, does not want to give up the screen. What is the recommended approach on how to properly either repair this relationship or apply appropriate consequences?
Well, you want to do both. When your kid is starting to talk back, won't get off of the screen, whatever screen that is, TV, tablet, phone, they don't do their homework or take responsibility for what they need to finish. Natural consequence is that, you're going to go into school, you're going to go into class, your homework's not going to be done, and it's going to feel really uncomfortable. So that's like a natural consequence. The kid's just going to feel like embarrassed, right? So that could happen. You could do that. It depends on the age. So let's just say they're like 12, right? Because that's like a pivotal age, especially with girls. If you see them resisting, then something's going on. If you see a child resisting doing their homework, but then, maybe last year or the year before it was different and they're starting to shift, something's going on. Are they overwhelmed? Are they doing 2-3 sports and learning piano? Like, that's too much. I know kids who their whole week is taken up, and sometimes their weekends, because of what their parents want them to be. That's not fair. It should be collaborative. Kids often resist or don't do their homework because they're overwhelmed. What is going on internally in them? Are they starting to isolate? What other things are they? They're starting to talk back. What are they angry about? What are they frustrated about? Are they frustrated with themselves, with their class, with their teacher, with the content? Were they doing great last year and this year they feel just angry because they're not doing as well? Okay, so there's that. And then screen time I'm conflicted about. Screen time I'm not really that worried about, because screen time actually could be very soothing, right? It could be, we do it all the time as adults. We watch TV, we're on our phone. I just don't understand why people get so scared about screen time. Screen time is there because you already formed it in their lives. You already allowed it. Like, it was your babysitter, or it was convenient, and now it's convenient for them. So it's a habit. If you want to reduce it, don't say, hey, stop looking at the screen. Say, hey, let's go outside and play some baseball. Hey, let's go play tag outside. You don't tell them to stop doing something. You just tell them to do something else.
What changes once a child hits preteens?
Once a child hits preteens, let's say 10, 11, 12. Well, this has been happening all their lives, but it's changing the way it happens. So there's synaptic pruning is happening in the brain. Synaptic pruning gets rid of the childlike ways. And now we're shifting into adulthood. Why doesn't a baby want to make friends? Because they're not like, why doesn't a 3-year-old want to make friends and social and go to the movies and drive or whatever? It's because their synapses in their brain just want to be with the parent. This is such an important time just as important as when a baby or a toddler, learns to walk. It's equally important. It's not something to be dismissed. Like, a lot of parents dismiss this phase. They're just like, oh, their hormones, this, they're that. No, they're starting to learn about sociability and what they like and what kind of person they want to be. So it's very, very important.
Well, how do you adapt logical consequences for ADHD or sensory needs?
I guess the biggest thing is like educating them. There are families who live in a household, it's so crazy. You have to change your whole household to live in an ADD home. So it's tough, especially if you have a kid who doesn't have ADD and one who does, or something comparable. Like, they need so much structure in the most minuscule ways that you would never imagine they would need help with. Like, ADD people, especially kids, they freeze. They want to do everything at the same time, but then they can't because they're so overwhelmed. So teaching them, giving them good habits, helping them understand what's going on, because they probably feel lost and they probably don't even know what's happening, is going to be your go-to. So psychoeducation is really important. Just learning and teaching how to understand themselves.
We have a permissive parent, and then on the other hand, we have a strict caregiver. What's the workable middle for these parents?
Permissive parenting and let's say authoritarian co-parenting. You do what you can with what you have. This is tough because you have two households. Parenting changes per household. The number of kids change per household. So it's really hard. Sometimes people have permissive parenting because they feel bad that their other, co-parent is authoritarian. So they might be more permissive, or vice versa. Parent might be more authoritarian and rigid and strict because they think that they're making up for the permissive parent. So both of you are wrong. What you want to do is stay in the moment. What is your child doing? You don't need to make up for anything. You just need to be present with your kid. You don't need to offset anything. You don't need to fix anything with the co-parent. You just need to be there in the moment and use your intuition. Parents have amazing intuition. Kids have amazing intuition. Like, trust the moment, because if you're gonna do something for a specific outcome, like, oh, he co-parents like a mad scientist, like, I'm gonna be, like a little princess. Like, no, you can't be permissive. You have to let go of the outcome that you're looking for and just be present in the moment.
How do you honor high respect cultures, however, still protect autonomy?
So this is something that is kind of close to me, because actually kind of makes me mad, because there's this like cultural expectation and this self-governing type of need in someone's spirit. So I would go with autonomy and preserving culture. When we talk about autonomy and culture, I think about my family because they're immigrants. And with my family, you can't be autonomous. You have to do what's best for the culture, for the family culture and the family identity. So if you are trying to be autonomous, and also called self-actualize, you're gonna have to start asserting boundaries. You're gonna have to start teaching people how to treat you. You're gonna have to go outside of the culture, the family dynamics. You're gonna start feeling like an outsider. That's unfortunate. But some families catch on and they start to evolve and support the autonomy of others, which is basically respecting them and their choices. Autonomy, as difficult as it can be in a really culture-centered family, is really daunting and tiring and scary, because you're like, what relationship am I risking? Am I risking my relationship with one parent, both parents, a sibling? Why is everyone trying to talk me out of what I'm thinking? It goes against the family culture, but it increases one's autonomy and self-actualization. And so you're always risking something. And I'm always like, go with autonomy. So you have to develop who you are outside of the family culture, outside of the expectation, and create your own life.
Let's take it one notch above, right? So
Just go.
now we are with a parent that decided to choose being a parent over maintaining in their culture. So they decided to break away. Right? They chose autonomy, they chose their family. Now that they're a new parent with no culture or family, are they alone? What do they do? What are the next steps?
My advice to this type of person who has the courage to be autonomous, if you can save your relationship with your family but have strong boundaries and use your kid and say, hey, if you want to see my kid, you got to have boundaries. So I would say try and stay connected to your family and just kind of like help them evolve by making like healthy decisions for your family. And if they're open to it, which most are, then that's amazing. But if they're not, then it's tough. Like you have to create your own community, being around like-minded people, getting to know people through your kid's school, getting involved in school. Hopefully, you know, you can make a connection with your spouse's family and gain support. But when you do good things like that, the natural consequence is more good. So trust your process. It's going to be harder, but it will end up being easier for your kid, your child, your children. So this is for them. This is for your children. To be autonomous is to break generational trauma, to break unhealthy generational practices.
What is a 60-second repair plan a teacher can learn from you and use tomorrow?
Okay, so a 60-second repair plan for a teacher who can use this plan tomorrow is engage. Like when I teach in a classroom, like kids are terribly loud. Everyone's raising their hand. You know, you're not teaching one body, you're teaching a lot of separate, you know, beings. And so let it be fun, let them yell and scream, let them be excited, let them be themselves. Engage them about fun things and use physical things. I know we have a lot of little things that, especially for neurodivergent kids, like spinners and things like that they can use, but get them more excited. Stop trying to calm them down so much and let them get excited, and they'll be engaged.
What is your favorite one-line pause when you feel triggered?
My one-line pause when I feel triggered is catch it, check it, change it. So when I feel triggered and I'm around people, especially kids, I always try to check myself, say, okay, I'm noticing, you know, through self-talk, I'm triggered. Check it. Okay, I'm checking it, and this is not the time to be triggered. I'll do some meditation later, and then change it. Deep breathing. I don't care what anybody says. Deep breathing for 3 minutes is so reparative. You're just not doing it. You need to do it. So quick box breathing, which is like less than a minute, and teaching kids how to box breathe, and they could use it with their hand. Make a box, inhale, hold it, exhale, and then the kids can use their hands and do that. They can use the grounding techniques that we talked about, like feeling things that are outside of their body, like rubbing their hands together, squeezing their hands, naming things in the room to distract them from what's going on and to calm them down for, you know, regulation. You're going to be so excited about next week because we're going to talk about sports and how they enhance your kids' life and your family life and what they learn, the discipline that they take in, and how much confidence it builds. So get excited about that. One very important thing. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and save all of my videos. Thank you. This is your girl Yasmin, and I am out.